Welcome, 406th and Goal listeners. It's Ben and I here again with you on. What's today's date, Ben?
Today is Thursday, May 11th,
May 11th.
5/11.
That's right. And what happened? Did we get the NFL schedule today?
We did, yeah. The NFL schedule dropped today. Just actually, I think within the past hour or so, is what I was seeing. But first quick reactions. So the Saints are, right now anyway, on release have the easiest rated schedule, and the Patriots have the hardest. Just two fun anecdotal things. But that's like, duh, because the Patriots are the consensus fourth place team in the best division in football, and the Saints are probably the best team in the worst division in football. So, not
Ben,
really that exciting.
When you make fantasy teams, here's a question for you. When you look at your, let's just say for redraft,
Okay.
do you look at schedule at all? Do you take that into account, or do you just take talent?
Not so much schedule.
Okay.
I want players on good teams. If I'm taking a player on a bad team, maybe it's because I think they're gonna. They do have a nicer schedule, but
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's one of the reasons I took Hurts last year. Is I knew how easy their schedules would be. I'm just like, whatever, and then it worked out. But
it could. I mean, if I'm debating between people, I might look into that. But come the 6th round on draft day, and some guys that I didn't really look too much into, I'm not taking the time to look at their schedule.
for sure. What's Dallas' schedule look like? Is it pretty good?
Actually, didn't look that one up too much, but we can look right now. And this is how we keep the pod nice and short.
Yeah. Oh.
Ooh,
We
AFC
play on
East, NFC East.
We play
this
October
year?
1st. Cowboys
That's,
Patriots.
It's actually kind of tough. We got
Some hard teams and then some.
Giants, Cardinals, Niners, Rams, Panthers, Seahawks, Bills, Lions, Jets, Pats, Chargers, and then Giants, Commanders, Eagles, Dolphins, and there's another Eagles game that should be in there. I missed.
So
Anyway,
pretty
yeah.
middle of the pack, huh?
Yeah, it'll be fun. Have a couple bold predictions though. Give me your thoughts. Some hot takes. I think the Jets are gonna finish last in the the AFC East. In their pursuit of Rodgers, honestly, I think they neglected to build on the young core that they showed that they had last year.
Sure.
And I think the Patriots, with an actual offensive coordinator and a quarterback whisperer with Bill O'Brien, might actually surprise some people on that side of the ball.
Well, I wouldn't care if we weren't last in the division. Of course, I'm biased being a Patriots fan, but Mac had a great rookie year.
Yeah.
Maybe not great, but like really good. Like it was promising of like, okay, this guy's got something. And then apparently everyone just hates him now and like wants Zappy, but it's like Patricia is our defensive coordinator. Our coordinators were Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, our special teams coach and our defensive coach. So now we have an actual OC, and apparently Mac Jones was the one who taught Bill O'Brien the Alabama like playbook because he coached for Alabama. So no, I think we'll be okay. I think we're gonna surprise a lot of people. I wouldn't say we're gonna be great, but I think Gesicki's also gonna be a sleeper.
Yeah, I think you have some pieces there that Bill O'Brien's worked with well in the past, but
we gotta get rolling though, don't we?
yeah. I had a couple other takes, but we don't have to do
Sorry,
that.
I thought you were...
Well, we can. Whatever. It's a football pod. Sorry, Nick. The Lions, I think they might win the NFC North.
Lions could win the North.
That division's wide open. Sorry, Nick. I just don't see the Packers are a wild card.
I don't think the Packers... I think the Packers are going to lose it.
I think the Vikings are not going to do well this year. I think they're just going to struggle, so...
No, Jared Goff is a service. He's better than serviceable. I like Jared Goff. I think he'll be a good quarterback.
Yeah.
He's shown he's good. And then, has the defense gotten much better?
Not through the draft, but I think, and they made strides toward the end of the season, so that's mostly what I'm looking at. Hopefully, they can keep it there or build off of that. And it'll be fun to watch. I think the Niners and the Seahawks in the West is going to be a fun battle, one that we've missed for the last decade when we had Richard Sherman yelling in Michael Crabtree's face at the end of the game.
Right.
So, should be a good year. It's always exciting when the schedule drops, but we're here to talk about
Post-draft?
post-draft winners and losers.
I believe so.
Yeah. So, do we want to just alternate a winner and a loser? How do we want to
Yeah,
do
I
it?
think that works. Maybe
Okay.
start what you think is your like number 3. Like we have our top 3s, yeah.
Okay.
Your third best
Yep.
winner.
All right, so third best winner, Jahmyr Gibbs, fantasy owners, especially in redraft leagues. The Lions had a terrible draft. I think they reached on Gibbs, and I don't think they needed Gibbs. They definitely had bigger needs that they should have filled at 12, or should have traded down and got some just quantity. But I think the offense is going to be really exciting. They were fun to watch last year. I think they could be among the highest scoring offenses in the league. And Gibbs, I mean, we talked about it on the last episode, and he's explosive. And I think in this offense especially, he's going to be a PPR monster. Just if you're playing PPR and you can get Jahmyr Gibbs, right now his ADP is around 105, I think, on Sleeper, and I mean
For
it's
rookie drafts?
for redrafts.
What?
Yeah, so I'd expect it to jump into the at least or at latest 70s or 80s come July and August, because let's be honest, most redraft.
105. I thought you meant round 1, pick 5.
Oh, no, sorry. No, 105.
I was like, jeez.
So, I mean, that's, you're talking rounds 8, 9, 10. I think some fantasy managers will be quite happy if they can get him there.
Right.
I think he's definitely got the highest ceiling among all the running backs, not named Bijan, of all the rookie running backs.
Sure.
Based on where they got drafted.
Well, then also it's like you saw how excited Dan Campbell and the rest of the organization was to draft him, especially that high too. Like they got their guy at pick 12 and they were stoked.
Yeah.
So it's like I think they're going to use him. You don't get that excited for a guy you're not going to use.
Yep. So that's number 3 for me.
So go to losers.
All the way down to the bottom.
Dang. I think that is the third probably. I didn't even do that on purpose. I think my fantasy loser, one of my fantasy losers is Rashad Bateman. Yeah, he's a very talented receiver. Like we've all seen it. Last year showed a lot of promise. Like when he was healthy, and then just like the thing was, then he just wasn't healthy. And then that just kind of had this big spiral down of like he wasn't healthy, and then Lamar wasn't throwing to anybody, and then Lamar was sitting out for that whole contract extension ordeal. But it's like I want more receivers, better receivers. I don't want to be throwing to DeMarcus Robinson and
Devin Duvernay.
Devin Duvernay and James Prochet.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So the organization listened, and they got him some more guys. They got him Odell, and they got him Zay Jones in the first round. While I don't think those are like amazing signings, or like picks, like it's not gonna be like, oh man, like I need to take one of those guys. But it does really muddy the waters, especially for Bateman. He had a chance to be like the guy and showed that he has the ability to, and then just like. It was just a terrible year for him. Just everything that happened just like all went against him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the types, I mean, OBJ and Zay Flowers also are similar type receivers, are probably going to be used in similar ways that Bateman was in that offense.
Yeah. Just fast.
Yeah.
Fast,
they
smooth
can,
guys.
Yeah, they can get deep on you. They can, cut across the field and give you 10 yards.
And that's not to say like I don't think Bateman has the he's young and he has the draft capital to like still like have a little bit of trust in him, but I'm kind of like it's just kind of scaring me away just this last few months.
Yeah, especially just Liz Frank injuries seem to be an issue
Right.
for him. I think this is his second.
Because yeah, he
Didn't
was
have
hurt his
something
rookie year too.
Yeah, so
So yeah, loser Rashad Bateman.
yep, it's tough. I had him in the redraft last year.
I had him in another league too. I was so excited.
Nah, I was too, especially after the first 4 weeks, and then tough. But yeah, second best winner of the draft. I said Arthur Smith, but really the Falcons or Bijan Robinson here. But based on the last pod, I believe we said that Arthur Smith would soil himself if Bijan Robinson fell to them, and he did. And they got their guy. And Atlanta has one thing on their mind when they have the ball, and that's just run the ball. Like, if I was a betting man, I would go on DraftKings right now and look at see if there's an over/under for Desmond Ridder pass attempt total for the season, and if it's set around 300, I might take the under. Like, they're not gonna throw the ball, and they showed it last year that even when they're down later in games, they're gonna stick to their guns, and right now their guns are Bijan Robinson, who's going to be a star in this league, and Tyler Algier, who I believe he had a 1,000-yard season last year.
He did, super quiet at 1,000 yards.
So I mean, and I think they're going to be more of a 1A, 1B combination just because of how much they're going to run the ball.
Sure.
And come third quarter, fourth quarter, late in the third quarter, into the fourth quarter, the Falcons are going to just wear down opposing defenses if they can just grind out long drives throughout the game. If you like old-fashioned smash mouth, Big Ten style football, the Falcons this year, they're the team for you, especially now with Bijan. So
I like that. I think you could also probably even throw Algier in the loser section, which is sad.
Yeah,
because he looked decent.
He did have a good year last year. So,
but I actually have a different running back loser. It was really hard this year. The draft was abysmal for running backs. There were so many running backs I really liked in the later rounds, and a lot of them just did not land in ideal spots. So I was going to say any running back after the first round. But then I was like, well, that's kind of dumb. Like, I'll just pick the obvious one. So I think I'll pair these two running backs together from the same team now. But the number two loser I have is Zach Charbonnet and Ken Walker. I think a lot of people saw that as obvious. They saw Zach Charbonnet film and like watched his games. It's like, oh man, this guy's gonna be really good. And it's like fantasy owners were just waiting for just like him to fall to like the right team, like a Cincinnati Bengals or like he probably would have even Miami or like Arizona, or just someone with like an aging running back or a group or a running back room that's like wide open. And of course he falls to the Seahawks, which is a move that, like, as a football fan, I think is brilliant, super good. Like, why not have two good running backs and, like, not get either of them hurt?
It works.
But from a fantasy perspective, it's tough. Especially in Dynasty, like, Ken Walker owners, like, he's really good, but his stock just took a big hit. I still think he will be the guy, but Charbonnet is too good to not play.
Yeah.
So it's like he'll probably still get 10 or so carries. And the thing, too, is he's a better receiver than Ken Walker is. So it's like Ken Walker's not going to get his monster, like, RB1 amount of carries, which, like, a lot of people probably had hopes he would vault into, like, he has a talent to be top 3 fantasy running back. I don't think that's going to happen. A lot of people wanted Charbonnet to, like, be their sleeper pick in the 4th, 5th round, and, like, now I don't think he's going to really be that much of a value. It's going to be like a Aaron Jones, Aaron Dillon type thing, I think.
I think so, but I think it reminds me more of when the Bills had Marshawn Lynch and Fred Jackson, and then they drafted C.J. Spiller,
Oh.
and that backfield was just a nightmare. I think Kenneth Walker will go fairly high still.
He has a home run ability.
Yeah, and like he will be the one heading in. I mean, barring injury, I don't think, for all intents and purposes, like I don't think Charbonnet is coming in to be 1A, 1B in this offense because they've never really done. Pete Carroll's never really done that.
But why would he?
But right,
But why? Second.
I'm not taking either one of those guys. For sure, and that's tough. Like Ken Walker was.
Beautiful.
It was really fun to watch him
Yeah.
run last year, and I was also really looking forward to seeing Charbonnet go to anywhere where he gets the rock on first and second downs immediately or
Yeah.
within the first 5 games of the season.
Yeah.
And, I mean, kudos to the Seahawks. They had an incredible draft, but
They did.
for fantasy, this was not. Yeah, not.
It's nice for
ideal.
Gino.
It is nice for Gino, yeah. And good old Pete sticking around another year. But
Who's your number? This is your number one winner.
my number one winner, and it's why I'm wearing my Phillies hat. It's because I can't bring myself to actually put on an Eagles hat or own it, spend money on anything Eagles. Just morality and stuff. But yeah, it's the Eagles. They had so many draft picks going into the draft, and they made a ton of trades and still added in the first round Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith to this defense that broke sack records last year. Was the best passing defense in the league. They were actually middle of the pack as far as rushing yards allowed per game, but I think Jalen Carter will help there big time. And like this front seven for the Eagles could be around for. I mean, everyone has to get paid eventually, but could be around for a while, and they were really, really, really good last year.
And they're even better now.
And they're even better. Not to mention, I think they traded for DeAndre Swift to add to their Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, Rashad Penny trio, which is not a bad trio. But I think DeAndre Swift fits better in Philly's scheme than he did in Detroit. And I think that rotation should keep him healthier. And that offensive line is going to get him some holes where he can, he still looked good last year when he was on the field. Like, he still looked
That's just
like the
tough
DeAndre
thing.
Swift that everyone was drooling over.
Well, I think a lot of people are going to be really excited about Rashad Penny and DeAndre Swift, and I'm scared. I took Penny in one draft just because he fell so far, and I was like, why not? Like,
Yeah.
I know he's going to get hurt, but it was just like,
Yeah,
he's just so good.
I panicked and talked myself into Swift in a dynasty startup draft in the 4th round. Regrets happen, but I do think as far as just, I think he's going to have a better year than a lot of people think. I think people are a little more hesitant just because of the injuries and because even last year when he was healthy, the usage got really weird at the end of the season.
Well, it's like, oh, he's healthy. Like, he's going to get 10 carries. And then it's like, no.
No, and he was only on the field to catch passes, which is fine. I mean, and they did have Jamal Williams, but
Yeah.
we'll see. The Eagles, they took their NFC Championship team, and I think they made it better.
We could honestly have a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl again.
Rematch, yeah.
And I wouldn't even mind it.
I wouldn't either.
Are you all in on the Eagles, just like fantasy-wise? Like,
Yeah,
I can't think of one guy that it's just like I wouldn't take a swing on that offense.
I was worried about Jalen Hurts last year. He shut me up. I'll eat crow on that one, but um, I don't know that there's especially. I mean, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts. Rashad Penny scares me. Like I wouldn't reach for him for sure. Same with Swift. I'm not gonna reach for him,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna pass him up and take like whoever Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's the equivalent to CEH,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
last year.
Right.
So, yeah.
No, I like the Eagles too.
I'm really excited for the Eagles Cowboys games. I think they're gonna be
That's gonna be fun.
pretty.
It'll be
good,
interesting.
But
You ready for the biggest loser?
who is the biggest loser?
This is going to surprise some people. This could be a hot take, but I think the Houston Texans are the biggest loser. But this is merely from a fantasy perspective. Kind of similar to like the Seahawks. Like I think it is a good move from a football like love of the game point of view. And I'm talking about their trade where they take Stroud and then they trade back up for 3 to get was it Will Anderson? Yeah.
Yep.
Good trade. Like they got their obvious like quarterback of the offense because he's the quarterback, their
Yeah.
franchise signal caller, and then they got their quarterback of the defense, like their hopeful leader, franchise leader, and like just guy on the defense. Like they got that back to back. Like I said, great for the organization, but why it's bad in fantasy. Is I am a firm believer that like it is good to pair college quarterbacks with their college receivers. I have a list of just like players right here that like of guys that play together and like these are successful dudes. So it's like we got Burrow and Chase, like they're unreal together, and then Hurts and Brown didn't play college together, but they were like really close friends, and like Hurts was a big reason why Brown came. So it's like even just like really close like childhood friends or just like guys who have like a connection before, just like instead of just getting like talent, it's like okay, these guys like know each other and they've played with each other. Tua and Waddle played college ball together, and then so did Kyler and Hollywood, Marquise Brown. So in this draft, they could have just waited till 12 and picked JSN, which would have been nice. I would have loved Jackson Smith and Jigba then. But obviously it didn't happen. He fell to Seattle, who we said had a good draft. I think that was a good pick. So it's like, okay, bummer. Like, what about next year? Who can they get next year? This is the one that's bad. Is to get that 3 pick this year, they traded away their first next year. Granted, we don't know where they're going to pick.
Right.
But we can only assume they're going to be still pretty bad. It's likely that's still going to be bad, which would probably be a top 3 pick, which loses their opportunity to get another Ohio State receiver who's he's a generational talent, and that's Marvin Harrison Jr. So it's like they lost not only by trading up one Ohio State receiver, but like another, like 2 of them.
Yeah.
To pick Will Anderson.
I mean, we talked about it on our draft preview that, it's possible that they, JSN falls to them at 12 or whatever, but trading up to get Will Anderson is a great football move. You get your guy on offense, you get your guy on defense. But, yeah, I mean, it seems to be the trend now in the NFL and with the guys you just listed. I mean, that's all happened in the last 3 seasons, 4 seasons. You know?
It's been recent.
And 2 of those pairings were through trade, So I thought for sure, and maybe they don't take Jason at 12, and there's still a lot of talent out there at 12, and they have so many holes to fill. But yeah, like you said, now they don't have a first round pick next year. The biggest thing, and I think this is just as a football perspective, like, yeah, you got your 2 guys, but now you're saying you need to win 8 games, basically, to get that 16th, 17th, 18th slot where you'd feel comfortable not having a first round draft pick.
Yeah.
And I don't think that this team can win 8 games. I know the division is
It's kind of
weak.
open. Not really, though. Like, I think the Jaguars are going to have it unlocked for foreseeable future.
Right. And it's weak, but weaker, I think.
It's definitely one of the weak. I think it might be one of the weakest besides the NFC. Is that the South?
Yeah, that division is hard.
Yeah. But
But yeah, I don't see, even with that, I don't see the Texans making how many did they win last year? 2?
I think they won 2.
I don't see them making a 6-win jump.
No. But I think what was even bad about this trade too, it's like, did they lose their second round pick also?
I think so, but I kind of think they had another.
I can't remember,
I
but it's
don't
like they didn't do anything in free agency to add to that core, and they drafted like Tank Dell, which is like
Yeah.
Tank Dell's okay.
Their wide receiver core.
It's pretty weak. I think the
is-
receiver core is like right now it's Nico Collins, John Mechie, and Tank Dell probably, and Dalton Schultz. So it's like it's all just a bunch of just like
We'll see how they do.
an average guys, and John Mechie is like the jury's out on him. Like he's coming back from having lymphoma. Dalton Schultz is just a guy. It's like they just don't have a real threat. So it's like I think you're right. I don't think they're gonna win many games because like what are they gonna do? They're probably just gonna bottle up the run, let Dameon Pierce do nothing, and then force
Yeah.
Stroud to pass to a bunch of average guys.
We forgot about the Deshaun Watson trade. They have a first from the Browns next year.
Oh, do they?
Yep.
That's right.
So I don't know which pick it was that they traded, but they could still get their guy.
They could.
That,
If the
that
Browns,
makes me
so
feel
they're just
better
like praying
about
that the
this.
Browns are just really bad.
Yeah, but I don't know if they traded the Browns pick, or if they.
They trade the Browns because I'm pretty sure it was. Or sorry, no, I think they traded their pick.
They can find out.
Because the Cardinals have 2 top 3 picks. They're projected to have 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like based on obviously the Texans like win loss. Oh, so they got
24 first. I think they took the Texans 2024 first. And
Yeah.
2024 third. So they still have their
Yikes.
second round, and they have 2 fourth rounds. They're okay. I take
still
that
though
back.
they're probably either way they're probably not going to get JSN. I don't think the Browns are going to be a bottom 3 team in the league.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, it does make me feel better. I mean, about even if they don't get Harrison, they can still get a guy.
Yeah.
I haven't looked too much into the next wide receiver class, but
Needless to say, though, like it's on the exact opposite of what you were on the Eagles. Like I am not touching anybody from the Texans.
oh, I'm not either. And I
Dameon
don't
Pierce
even-
would be like the biggest temptation, and even then, it's just like I'm like, nah.
maybe in Dynasty, Dameon Pierce, maybe.
But then it's like we saw what happened at the
But-
end of the year where like teams just stopped him, and then it's just like, oh.
Right. Well, that's what happens when Davis Mills is
Yeah.
chucking it. So
So yeah, I think the Texans are obvious losers in that, and just it's almost like here I am, Patriots guy again, like Mac Jones situation of like, oh, we got our franchise quarterback, but we're not going to give him any talent.
yeah,
Sorry.
It's interesting. I'm curious to see how C.J. Stroud does. See if he can break the mold of
They should have kept
Ohio
Brandon
State
Cooks.
quarterbacks. They should have, but thanks.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't want to be there.
True,
No one
but-
wants to be there. Well,
No.
I guess Schultz does because he signed there. But
Not high on him either.
they'll be an interesting team to watch. It's a shame. I mean, the Texans were so bad for their first 10, 15 years, and then Deshaun Watson came along and they had 3 years. And
They had a couple good Matt Schaub years.
I don't think they ever made the playoffs with Matt Schaub.
I thought they did a couple times. I remember there was one year they won
Maybe
I thought they
once.
won 14 games or something crazy. I think it was Schaub and Arian Foster.
Oh,
And
well,
Andre
yeah, Arian
Johnson.
Foster. Oh, okay. But it feels like they're just not ever good, and their bad times are bad times.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't think they'll be like the Oakland Athletics of baseball, just trotting out a minor league team every night. But
It'll be close, but
should be
Yeah.
fun to watch. It'll be interesting to see how Stroud develops. And hey, tank for Harrison,
that's right.
or they'll somehow get Deshaun suspended again.
Harrison? Oh, Harrison. Oh, sorry. I for some reason, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Anyways, everyone, that's all we got. We're trying to keep these episodes a little shorter. We realized we went very long last time, so we apologize for that. But yeah, just check us out on YouTube, or I'm not sure if we're on Spotify anymore, but I know we're for sure on YouTube. But yeah, 4th, 6th, and goal. We're trying to be more consistent about it. If you have any friends or family that like fantasy football, or just hear two guys just BS, just send them our
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If you have anything you want covered? Do we have an email? We
I
did?
don't think we do. I
Okay,
thought we
never
did,
mind.
but yeah, no email yet. Or maybe we did. I don't remember. Probably not.
Probably not.
I don't even
Okay.
check my own email.
Yeah, I don't either.
Anyways, thanks guys. We appreciate it. We'll see
Peace.
ya.